To save my family, I had to marry a man. Everyone said he was dangerous, that he was a madman. On our wedding night, my hand was shaking when I lifted my veil, but then I saw a secret, and it changed everything. My name is Kashyap, and this is my story. It's a story about lies, about being scared, and about a love that felt as strange and wild as madness. My world always felt very small. Our home was old and needed fixing. The only big things were my dreams. We did not have much money, and it was a problem every day. My younger brother was happy. He went to a normal school and liked his life. But I wanted more. I worked very hard to get into the best university in Lahore. It was a place where girls came in big, expensive cars. They laughed with so much confidence. I felt like a ghost next to them. I always looked down at the ground, at my old shoes and my used clothes. I told myself I was just focused on my books, but really I was shy. Then a boy named Junaid came to my class. He was like a big, quiet storm. He was so handsome and he had a kind energy. All the other girls talked about him and tried to get his attention. I did nothing. I just watched him from far away. It was my secret. He was from a rich world and I was just a girl with a scholarship. We only talked about schoolwork. He was always kind and helped me with my lessons. He never made me feel small. Those small talks were like bright lights in my simple life. I would remember everything he said, like it was a movie. The day I finished university was supposed to be a happy day, but it was a very sad day. My father, who was always so strong, had a bad heart attack. He worked so hard for us his whole life. Now he was in a hospital bed, very weak. My life changed completely. My dreams of a job, of helping my family, were gone. I had to make money for everyone. Finding a job was very hard. The city was not kind. My university degree felt like just a piece of paper. For weeks, I looked and looked. I finally got a job in a small office. I was happy, but not for long. My boss was not a good man. He saw that I needed money, and he tried to use that. His words became unkind. His requests made me feel bad. One day, he trapped me in his office. I knew what he wanted. I was so scared and angry that I just ran. I ran all the way home to my mother. I felt like I had lost everything. She held me and her eyes were very sad. "Be strong, my daughter," she whispered. Her voice was full of tears she did not let fall. "This world is not easy for girls like us. We must be strong." Her words were meant to help, but they only showed me how hard our life was. The hospital bills were getting bigger and bigger, like a mountain. My father was not getting better. The doctors said he needed an operation. It was an operation we could never pay for. Our hope was getting smaller, like a little fire going out. When I felt we had no hope left, something happened. I got a job at GK Enterprises. It was a very big, powerful company. The office was like a different world. The floors were shiny stone. Everything was quiet, and it felt very rich. For a few weeks, I could breathe again. I worked hard and was happy to have the money. It was not much, but it helped. Then one day, there was a big announcement from the owner, Mr. Khan. He made an offer that was very strange and shocking. He was looking for a wife for his only son, but it was not a normal marriage proposal. He said he would give a lot of money to any woman at the company who agreed to marry his son for just 24 hours. The office was full of whispers. Everyone knew the stories about Mr. Khan's son. They were scary stories. They said he was a madman. They said he was strange and lived alone. Some said his face was hurt, so he hid from the world. Others whispered that he was violent and got very angry. No one had seen him in many years. People said he was locked inside the family big house, like a monster in a beautiful cage. Every girl in the office was scared of the idea. They laughed and said it was like asking to die. Who would sell their life for money? One girl said. I wanted to yell, I would, because my life was worth nothing if I had to watch my father die. The idea stayed in my head for days. Marry a madman, be with a monster for one day. I felt a cold fear in my stomach, but then I would see my father's face so weak and tired, and my fear went away. His life for one day of my fear. It felt like a good trade. My heart was beating so fast I walked into Mr. Khan's big, fancy office. He was a serious man. His eyes looked right through me. He did not look surprised to see me. It was like he knew someone would be this desperate. Do you understand? He asked. His voice was flat with no feeling. You marry my son. You stay with him for one day and one night. After that, you get the money and you can go. No one will make you stay. I just nodded my head. I could not speak. I was agreeing to marry a man I had never seen, a man people said was crazy. I felt like I was selling a part of myself. Before the wedding, I felt like a ghost. My mother cried quietly. She was scared for me, but she also wanted my father to live. My dad was too weak to say anything. He just held my hand, and his eyes were full of a sadness that hurt my heart. The world felt far away. The only thing I could hear was the sound of my own fear. I did not know what was waiting for me. I just knew I could not go back. The wedding day came, not with happy sounds, but with the feeling that something terrible was about to happen. The wedding was an empty, cold event. There were no guests, no music, no flowers. It was like signing a paper. I was the thing being sold. They gave me a simple red wedding dress. The dress felt heavy, like a sad blanket. A thick veil covered my face, so no one could see how scared I was. The groom was not there. They were going to take me to him. After the papers were signed, a car took me to the Khan family house. It was a very big, beautiful house, but to me it felt like a jail. It was so quiet. I walked through the big, empty halls. The sound of my shoes was loud, like drums at a funeral. No one was there to say hello, just Mr. Khan and a quiet servant. She took me up a long staircase and down a long hall. She stopped at a big wooden door. She pointed to it. Your husband is in there, she said, and then she walked away. My hand was shaking as I pushed the door open. The room was very big and dark. There was old, heavy furniture inside. A small lamp was on, making long, scary shadows on the walls. I stood by the door, and I could not move. I could not breathe. I listened for any sound, for any sign of the madman. The minutes felt like hours. All the scary stories came back to my mind. Was he watching me from the dark? Was he going to jump out at me? Then I heard a small sound. A door on the other side of the room opened. A man walked out of the bathroom. He was tall. I could only see his shape in the dim light. He walked slowly toward me. His steps were silent on the soft carpet. He stopped a few feet away from me. I could smell a clean soap smell. "Lift your veil," he said. His voice. It was not a scary monster's voice. It was quiet and soft and a little gentle. But I knew that voice. A shock went through my whole body. No, it could not be. It was not possible. My fingers felt like they were not mine. They shook as I tried to hold the veil. I took a deep, shaky breath and slowly lifted the heavy cloth from my face. My eyes met his. I forgot how to breathe. The room felt like it was spinning, and looking back at me with the same surprise on his face was Junaid. The quiet, kind boy from the university. The boy I had a secret crush on for years. The man I thought was from another world was my husband, the madman. He looked as shocked as I was. His mouth was a little open. We just looked at each other. The quiet in the room was so heavy you could almost touch it. The handsome face I used to watch from far away now looked sad and hurt. The kind eyes that once helped me with schoolwork now looked full of pain. Then he took a quick step back. He shook his head slowly. He made a small sound, a sound of pain. He did not say another word. He turned around and walked quickly out of the room. He left me alone in the big, dark room. My world was broken. The veil fell from my hands onto the floor. It was a pile of red cloth in the dark, like a drop of blood. I just stood there. I couldn't move. I had so many questions. Junaid? The madman? How could this be real? Everything I knew was a lie. My past and my scary present were now mixed together. As I tried to understand, I knew one thing. My night of fear was only beginning. If you are as surprised as I was, and you need to know what happens next, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. It helps so much, and you will want to know the secret Junaid was hiding. I don't know how long I stood there in the same spot where Junaid left me. Time stopped. My brain was trying to put two pictures together. There was Junaid, the smart, gentle boy from university. And there was the madman, the son of Mr. Khan, a scary person from the stories. How could they be the same? The shock went away and I started to feel other things. Confusion, a feeling of being tricked, and a little bit of anger. Was this a game for rich people? I sat on the bed. The bed was soft, but my mind was a mess. A tear ran down my face. It was a hot, sad tear. I sold myself to save my father, and now I was in a story that was much more confusing than I ever thought. An hour passed, maybe 2. The quiet in the big house was so heavy. I thought someone would come and say it was all a mistake, but no one came. Finally, I heard the door open. It was Junaid. He stood at the door. He looked pale and very tired. The shock was gone from his face. Now he just looked sad. He did not look at me. He walked to a small fridge in the corner and poured a glass of water. His hand was shaking. He finally turned and looked at me. "Kashyap," he said. Hearing my name from him felt both nice and painful. I did not know it was you. My father, he takes care of these things. He never told me who he picked. Picked? I said. My voice was rough. You mean who he bought? He looked hurt. My word was like a punch. He looked at me and his eyes asked me to understand. Please don't. I know how this looks. I know what you are thinking. What should I think, Junaid? I stood up. I was surprised by my own anger. Everyone whispers about you. They say you are a monster, crazy, mad. Is it true? Is that why your father had to buy a wife for you?" He closed his eyes. "The rumors, they are mostly lies. People make them bigger." "Mostly?" I asked, and I walked closer to him. "So some parts are true." He opened his eyes, and I saw he was hiding a lot of pain. "My life, it was not easy," he whispered. "My mother, she left when I was a boy. My parents fought all the time. This house was like a war. She did not like my father's control. He sees people like they are pieces in a game, even his own son." He stopped and drank more water. "After she left, he wanted to control me even more. He wanted our family to look perfect. I was not the son he wanted. I was not mean enough. I was too soft, too much like my mother. So he started to keep me away from people. The rumors started. Some were from his enemies in business. I think my father helped other rumors grow to keep me close to him, to break me." He walked to the window and looked out at the dark garden. "He wanted a wife for me who would be owned by us, a woman who was not powerful enough to leave like my mother did. This whole 24-hour thing was his test, a mean, bad test to find someone who needed money so badly they could be controlled." I listened. My anger went away. I just felt very, very sad. This was not a story about a monster. This was a story about a prisoner, a boy who lost his mother and was hurt by his own father. The madness was just sadness from a lonely, hard life. "Why didn't you leave?" I asked softly. He gave a small, sad laugh. "How? He controls everything. My money, my friends, my name. I tried to leave once. He told me he would put me in a hospital. He said he would use the rumors to show everyone I was crazy. No one would believe me. I was trapped." He turned back to me. His eyes were serious. "University, that was my only escape, my only time to feel normal, to just be Junaid, the student, not Junaid Khan, the crazy son. I saw you there, Kashyap. I saw you every day." I could not breathe. You did?" "Of course I did," he said. A small, sad smile was on his face. "You worked so hard. You had a light inside you. I wanted to talk to you, to know you, but I couldn't. What could I give you? A life in this beautiful jail. I stayed away to keep you safe, and now my father has pulled you into it, the one person I never wanted to hurt." We stood in the quiet. The truth was between us. We were two people, trapped, brought together by a powerful man's cruel games. The fear I felt was gone. Now I just felt so much for him. I saw him now, not as a madman, not as my university crush, but as a man with a lot of pain. That night, we did not sleep. We talked for hours. He sat in a chair by the window. I sat on the bed. There was a big space between us, but our words were building a small bridge. He told me about being lonely. I told him about my sick father and why I came to his house. For the first time, I was not shy about being poor. I felt like he could understand what it was like to have no power. The sun started to come up. The sky turned gray and then pink. The 24-hour clock was ticking. But it did not feel like a clock for my escape anymore. It felt like a clock counting down until I would lose the first person who really understood me. "My father will come for you in the morning," Junaid said. His voice was sad. "He will give you the money and you can leave." I looked at him. His handsome face was tired. He looked so lonely, and I knew that feeling. I thought about leaving. I thought about taking the money and saving my father. That is why I was there. But the idea of walking away from Junaid, of leaving him alone in this big empty house, made my chest hurt. Just then, my phone made a sound. It was on the table next to the bed. It was my mother. My heart jumped. I answered it. My hand was shaking. Her voice was scared. "Kashyap, it's your father. He is getting worse. The doctors say we need to do the surgery now, today, or it will be too late." The world felt like it was spinning again. The money. I needed the money now. I looked at Junaid. My eyes were big with fear. I did not have to speak. He saw the panic on my face. "What is it?" he asked. He stood up quickly. "My father," I said. My voice was shaky. "The hospital called. He needs the surgery. Now." Junaid did not wait. He walked right to me. He took the phone from my shaking hand. "Hello? This is Junaid Khan," he said. His voice was suddenly strong and full of power. "I am Kashyap's husband. Please tell the doctor to prepare for the operation now. I will pay for everything. Use the best tools. Do everything you can to save him." He ended the call and looked at me. "It's done," he said softly. "Don't worry. Your father will get the best help." I just looked at him. I could not speak. He had just saved my father's life. He didn't ask any questions. He used his family's power not to hurt, but to help to protect me and my family. In that moment, something inside me changed. All my fear was gone. This was not a madman. This was the kindest, best man I had ever met. The arranged marriage started as a scary deal, but now it was becoming something else, something real. The 24 hours were over. Mr. Khan came, just like he said he would. He had a check in his hand. He found Junaid and me sitting together, talking. We had a quiet peace between us, a connection made from our shared pain. I looked at the check. It was the paper that was supposed to save my father's life. Then I looked at Junaid, the man who had already saved him. In a clear and steady voice, I turned to my father-in-law. "Thank you for your help, Mr. Khan, but I will not be leaving." The look on Mr. Khan's face was so surprised, it was almost funny. But the look in Junaid's eyes, it was full of hope. That was everything. Our marriage started as a business deal. It was a choice I made because of family problems and money. It was built on lies and bad stories. But in that beautiful cage, we found each other. We learned that the names people give you, madman, poor girl, are not important. The truth in your heart is what matters. Junaid and I had to fight for our happiness. We had to be strong together against his father and against all the whispers from other people. But we did it. He found his strength in my love, and I found my home with him. Our story did not start with a choice, but we chose to build a life together. We turned a house into a home. The arranged marriage that was supposed to destroy my life saved me. And the man everyone called a madman, he was just the man I loved. And our story, the one that started on my wedding day, was really just beginning.